Welcome to Unprofessional Therapy, no degrees, just decades. I am Michael, and I'm joined by
Brad. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It's first time, right? We've never
never
seen
met
each
before.
other.
You're a stranger to me.
You're miles away in another country. Well, we've got a couple of different topics to talk about today. Yeah. What's your my topic is going to be about investing in yourself. And that
You want
sounds
to invest in me? You want to give me money?
investing
When
in
I hear
your
the word invest, I hear money.
you're investing in yourself. So it wouldn't be you, it'd be investing
I have
in
to
me.
give myself money.
That's it. You got to get yourself some money. We'll talk
All
about
right.
that a little bit in a minute, but first,
Well, I want to address something that I saw, or I didn't see, but I don't know. I kind of want to talk about this because it's kind of interesting. How do we come up with ideas? How do we prepare? And then this is like a 2-minute conversation. We don't want to
sure.
go too far
Okay.
ahead. So you sometimes will get an idea and then do a little bit of research for how long?
5 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
Honestly, we want these to be fresh and spontaneous.
Yes.
So the less preparation we do, the better.
Yes. So what we do, like what we did just before this video, we record 2 in a day usually. And just before this video, Michael had an idea. He tells me what it is. He says, I want to talk about investing in yourself. And I have a list of things I want to talk about. So I look and say, what can match with that? And I pick it. And then we talk about it. So research, it's all in my head. So what I'm going to talk about today is how nuts we are, because what I realized from us making these videos, we have a lot of problems.
Are they problems though? That's the part I'm going to push back on, but we'll get to that in a minute.
That's what I want you to push back on.
Yeah.
Again, we're unprofessional therapy, so we're definitely unprofessional. All of these little things, and they're all little things. There's a couple big topics we've talked about that were life-changing and stuff like that. Yeah. But 90% of what we put out here is just the little things in life, I guess my point is everybody's broken.
Yes.
In some fashion, whether it's a little bit or a lot. If you're a lot broken, maybe you need to go beyond unprofessional and find something better.
For sure.
And why are you watching YouTube? Solve your problems.
I think I'm going to sum it up by saying being broken is what makes you normal.
And I think I've heard similar to that. I mean, because we're going through these topics. I've got a lot crossed off. We have why we moved to different places. I can't read this far away, this close. I can't.
That's horrible. There you go. Glasses make a difference.
Support system. Technology makes us stupid. These little things. Your dyslexia, education style. Self-help. That was a couple weeks ago. Anyway, so I have all these ideas, and I'm looking every time we have an episode, and I don't mean a psychotic episode. We discover something new that's off.
So yes, and everything. It's great because we can have these serendipitous discussions in this format to be shared with other people and maybe help them along the way with their journey, as well as helping each other and helping ourselves.
Yeah, and I think that with the being the control freak, which is what we just recorded, and being the other stuff that I have, the neurodivergent isn't the right word. I actually looked that up. It's different, but being a little bit ADHD, I guess, for lack of a better word, on the spectrum. Those are words. I'm not really. It's like I think everybody has, not everybody, but enough people have something around the spectrum or some sort of level of issues that I hope we can help
you've used a word a couple of times now that really defines this, and that is spectrum. Because a lot of people have all the same issues, just to varying degrees, and they interfere with people's lives in different ways.
And
So,
sometimes they don't interfere.
and sometimes they
Being
don't. Yeah, sometimes they're so
depending on the
small they're
level, right?
negligible. Yeah, right.
Right.
So that's the other end of the spectrum.
Right. And
Yeah.
because everybody, you know what, I can't umbrella this. I would say a good number of people are control freaks at some level. Some are totally nuts. Some are indistinguishable. So and it's just, I guess my point is, if you notice one of these traits in you, and I'm talking to the audience and you,
Mhm.
it's okay.
Sure, for sure, for
It's
sure.
fine. Don't freak out about it, because you're probably, take a little self-examination. It's like, okay, I see I can be a control freak. Well, how bad are you? Are you even, is it even worth bothering with? I
Right,
mean,
right.
are you affecting other people in a negative way, or are you just like being yourself? And is it just affecting you, or is it affecting anybody at all, including you?
How bad is it affecting you too, though, is something that
Right.
does need to be examined and looked at. Um, and I think that can be an issue too. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely self-examination. We've talked about that. That kind of seems to be the key phrase that keeps coming up, at least for us today,
Yeah.
is taking the time to look at these
Self-examination.
things and taking an inventory, a self inventory as to where you're at with these things, what you're thinking of, um, how you're affecting others, and how that affects yourself. Um,
Yeah.
what what defines a problem?
That's a good question. So I would say, what define a problem is it causing you yourself or another person stress,
Mhm.
or negative, any kind of negative anything, negative feelings, negative, are you harming somebody? What is it, the Wiccan uh, uh beliefs that are like, do no harm?
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that the Wiccan? Yeah. So if you kind of want to do no harm, that includes doing no harm to yourself. Are you hurting yourself in a lot way, in a little way at all? You need to think inward, and also look outward and see, am I actually affecting someone in a negative fashion? Anyone, you or anyone.
It's funny because I'm laughing to myself, and I'm going to share it with you now. But as you bring these topics up and you talk about, the first thing that pops into my head is like Asimov's laws of robotics, and applying those to yourself too. First of all, a robot can't allow harm to come to somebody else. One of the things that's a little bit further down on that list is not allowing self harm too.
Hmm.
Um, and then I'm thinking in general, in more professional terms, which we are not. We've stated that several times now. But when it comes to the psychology of our needs, our hierarchy of needs, was that Maslow? I don't know. I can't remember. No, I'm just trying to show off. Um, but the idea that so much, actually, it was the works of Joseph Campbell on the hero's journey and stuff, talks about the fact that we build up so much. Um, I wish again, I'm not prepared. So I'm just going to have to lay it out here and we'll clean it up later. Um, he talks about the journey of life or whatever, but as a child, you load so many of these problems and baggage up, and then like you spend the rest of your life dealing with the baggage that you developed as a kid, or you started, those seeds were planted. So a lot of times it's helpful to trace where the problem maybe came from and see. And once you've named something, it gives you control over it.
Now you're sounding
So
like a professional therapist. Stop it. We're
sorry,
not
sorry,
professional.
sorry. We're not professional, no. But I will say, if you
There's some truth
can
in that.
define a problem, you can work
Hmm.
on solving it. At least
Yes.
that's been my experience.
And it's, that points me to debugging code. define where the problem starts, and you can fix it. You get those ghost bugs or those, ghosts in a machine type problems. Like, I don't know where to look.
Look to your childhood. Start with that.
Start with your childhood. Go back to the childhood of the person who actually wrote the original code and see if you can figure that out. You see so many. It's like it's a cliche for a therapist to say, how did your parents treat you as a child?
How did you feel about your mother? Whatever the case.
Yeah. When I talk about your father, how's that make you feel? I don't feel it's no big deal.
And then I was going to drag this back to the last episode, which is like, I didn't have that, so I was free to build myself however I wanted. What were my examples then? But anyhow,
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's you. And this brings us also back to the last episode. It's out of your control. Just breathe. The past is the past. Define what happened and
move on from it.
If you feel it's a real problem and if it's harming you or other people, then maybe you need to work on that.
Yeah,
and you need to figure out how. It may be something very simple, and it may be something that takes years. Anger management takes decades.
Takes years. Takes a long time for sure. So, and again, wow, we're going to keep preaching this whole episode is seek professional help if you need to.
Yes.
If it seems like something that's completely overwhelming and something you can't handle, then yes, you absolutely should seek professional help. But if you don't have that, well, that option is always out there, because I think I should look this up. I want to say 988, but you can actually call for help. I'll have to include a link in the description on this one now. But having somebody else to talk to, somebody else to listen, somebody else just to bounce the ideas off of. A lot of times, and it becomes true with writing, that writing things down, if you can spell, can help clarify. Yeah, it forces you to think about it and define something and so on. If you can't do that, or short of doing that, talking to somebody can help you articulate, even if you do things like you and I just did, where it's like, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm just going to vomit it out and horrible use, but I'm just going to spit it out and then we'll sort it out later or whatever. But
this is, in essence, these videos are us talking to strangers.
Sure.
Yeah, we're talking to each other, a stranger and a friend. Friend, a strange friend.
Yes, we're talking to strange friends and friendly strangers.
Yes. Hopefully friendly strangers.
And I think everybody, I think it's important, like I said, for everybody to realize that everybody has something. Everybody could pick at something. You know what I mean? You could find a flaw with everybody and with yourself, and that doesn't make you weird or strange. It makes you normal.
Yes.
Really what it comes down to.
99% of people are normal.
Yeah.
I'm giving an umbrella, damn it.
Indeed. So
go ahead.
I was going to say, that's going to lead us into our next topic, which we didn't plan per se.
No.
But investing in yourself. So you brought up money, but but that's okay. If you need,
sometimes it takes money.
Yeah, sometimes it takes money. Sometimes you need money. Sometimes it's time. It's hard to remember. Well, I'm going to take this someplace else to start with, which is we have both been, and I can say this with quite a degree of confidence, we have both been in situations in life where things were dire and bleak. And if you want to put it that specifically, we'll say financially. And so it's hard, or it's best if you remember that if you have to start all over again, you're at least going to be starting from a place of having experience.
Yeah.
And try not to let that overwhelm you. This wasn't supposed to be a financial discussion per se, but that's one of the easiest ways, I think, to cut to what can be important or what can be overwhelming these days, especially.
Oh gosh, it's
We try
financial.
we try to steer clear of politics and religion and those type of things, but
we'll talk money.
we'll talk money. Sure, we'll talk money, and we'll talk about the fact that you can wind up feeling these pressures that everybody's feeling.
Yeah.
So it becomes important, I think, to invest in yourself. How have you invested in yourself?
Oh, see, you asked me the question I wanted to ask you, but I'm going to answer first, and then I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
So, how did I invest myself? 35 years ago, I heard of a website called Amazon.com. I think it was roughly about 35 years ago when it came out. I bought a lot of books. I had an okay job. I had an okay apartment, but I spent my money on books on how to teach me how to do websites, how to do programming, and I used to have thousands of dollars, and this is over probably a decade before the internet existed to just be able to look stuff up. So I invested time because I had to read the books. I had to test the code. HTML isn't code. Fight me on it. We'll talk. So I had to write the HTML. I had to then go into programming and learn how to do VB, which sucks. And then I learned into C#, and then now I'm learning into Rust. So if these are all foreign languages to you, well, that's what they are, as languages, and they are foreign to most people. And I have invested my life and my monies into learning these things, and look where it's got me. Now, yes, there was a point in time where I was broke and had $0 couch surfing. And what brought me back to where I'm at now is I went back into that knowledge base after a little while of taking a sabbatical. And I went back into that knowledge base and I got right back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you had an easier time of it because
Southeast Asia.
And I'm assuming you were able to get back into it because you had already invested in it. It was easier to put back in because
the investment was still there because I had to catch up, but it was a lot shorter.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what was the question you were going to ask?
So my question is, what have you done to invest in yourself?
That's basically, I'm going to say the same thing. It's been studying, it's been reading, it's been increasing my breadth of knowledge on subjects that I don't know or didn't know about, only found interesting. A couple of things. We've talked about my dyslexia, but when I say about my knowledge and learning things out of books and so on, I can't help but think about the teacher that actually put on my report card that I was never going to be much of a student, but I would be a nice person. And I'm like, wow, you wrote that on a child's, maybe I wasn't supposed to see that. I don't know. But anyhow, that could still
want to, offline, you have to tell me who that was.
Oh my gosh. We'll get to that later.
Because I know who they are. I know the person.
There's it's the same teacher that you had. So the fact is, though, I'm always interested in subjects that I'm interested in. And as an adult, I have had that opportunity. And you brought up something about getting the books. You mentioned investing money, getting the books. I want to remind people that the library is a tremendous resource that is free
the internet
for everybody. The internet also. Now, my caveat, my concern is just because you can look things up, don't skip over it. Read it.
Yeah.
Take the time to look at a book. Take the time to read and understand the things.
Headlines are not the news.
Well, 100% with that for sure. But like I said, just don't assume that a deeper understanding of things is going to mean more to have that. And for example, just so two things. One thing, I've mentioned this probably before or whatever, that when it came to somebody asking about how to become a better amateur magician, Max Maven replied, read books. And when they ask what books, it's like, it doesn't matter what books, just
All.
read more. Yeah, just read more. And I'm thinking about this just because recently I was watching the show True Detective. We watched that with my sister-in-law. But anyhow, so because of reading and being familiar with multiple things, you're going to find that you're going to get more out of life and more out of TV shows or your entertainment just because without drawing attention to it, they quoted and made some references to some other books and things that I had actually read. And so I was able to get more out of it. So it was an investment that paid off in ways that you can't even imagine. So I'm going to say learn more. That's it.
Yeah, just read more books. And talking about how, a headline is not the news. You can't judge a book by its cover is a valid argument.
For sure. For sure.
Rich man, poor man, rich dad, poor dad.
Yeah.
That he lied.
Right. But having said that,
the story, the underlying concept is true. He just told it with a story that made people believe that was, and he intentionally misled people, telling them that this was my real life when it was fictional.
Right.
So you
look
can't
beyond
book by the cover. But what's the Grapes of Wrath? I've never read it. Is that the one that starts out? What was the one about the Tale of Two Cities?
Tale of Two Cities. What you're thinking of? I think.
Tale of Two Cities. And I can't remember how it starts, but anyway, it's just like
the times, the worst of times.
Yeah, the best of times, worst of times. Yeah. And I'm like, back when it was given to me to read, I'm like, nah, that's just I can't handle that.
well, then we'll talk about shortcuts. We'll talk about books on tape. That dates me, doesn't it? CDs, MP3s.
Tape. Okay, let's talk about books on tape, audiobooks, whatever. Yeah. I can't. They do nothing for me because I will get distracted doing something else, and I don't hear anything it says. There was one series, and I wish I could remember the name of the books because they were good, that I did have audiobooks. But if I do anything else, I don't hear the book.
Okay.
So I have to listen to the book, which it's not much different than reading it. To you, it's a lot different than reading it.
Sure. Yes. And so I guess like I said, the reason I bring it up and stuff is because like there are alternatives to these things. Investing in yourself again doesn't necessarily mean money.
But it always means time.
It does mean time. It does mean that you're going to have to put the time in, and that will pay dividends later on. I laughed when you said 35 years ago, because I think about this, which is when's the best time to plant a tree? Well, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And so for most of us, if we didn't do it 20 years ago, this is the time to do it. Right. And I think that can apply regardless of what age you are. And I bring that up because we're older guys. Doesn't mean that I want to stop learning, though. And
I'm going to put a caveat into learning today. Because I still learn today. I mean, still start today. Don't use AI to learn the basics because of whatever you're trying. You can use AI to get ideas on what to read.
Absolutely.
Because you want to go to the source material because AI is not source material.
No, it is not.
So just go to the library, go to the right website. You can go to websites that have free books.
Yes.
Google it. You can get free PDF downloads of many, 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 many books.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse. The excuse is you just don't want to, or whatever. There's our next one.
Okay.
By the way, when anybody sees me sit down and write, this is me taking a note of another topic.
Taking a note of something we're gonna get back to, and we don't. Like I said, we intentionally, and it shows in some cases, don't prepare ahead of time much. There are some things we'll do a little bit of research on or whatever if it becomes important, but generally speaking,
what was the topic I just talked about that I want to write down?
Oh no, you forgot already?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to roll the tape back. Researching stuff is what you're talking about, and we'll do this real time.
I know, I was talking about being lazy or
being.
Okay, we'll deal. Tell me when you edit. If you get
I'll
past
tell
that.
you when we edit.
Okay, go ahead. Go with what you were saying. Sorry.
We're at that point where we're towards the end of this show, or the time that we're going to talk together. But anyhow, the point is, investing in yourself is going to pay dividends later and in ways that you can't even imagine. We listed a few of them, or I listed a few of them, saying that you'll maybe get more depth out of conversations with people. It's going to help you, I'm going to say, read people or understand where they're coming from, because maybe they're going to use references that you haven't become aware of yet. You'll notice when somebody says that time takes time, or maybe uses a few of those things, that will be a specific thing that will trigger an idea. I guess the idea is that by investing in yourself, you're going to live a richer life,
more fulfilled.
More fulfilled.
I would say I am definitely better off today because of the stuff I did 30 years ago, 35 years ago. You know, I'm better off today for the things I learned even 10 years ago, 15 years ago. We talked, I think it was offline. No, it was online, about public speaking.
Yeah.
I didn't do very good until I just practiced. You know, it was an investment, and I would never have done these videos.
Right.
So, and I never would have had the other channel that was, I would say, mildly successful. I mean, it was making me $100 every 2 months. Woohoo!
Right.
You know, sometimes 150.
Yeah, that's you know, that's a tank of gas these days. Anyhow, we're not going to go there. I'm going to say really quick, and I'm to quote, to paraphrase Adventure Time: sucking at something is a start of being good at something.
Yeah,
keep that in mind while you're making that investment in
didn't
yourself.
Succeed the first time, or not Einstein? Who was the one that did the bulb, electric bulb?
Edison.
I constantly do that. Edison did not create the light bulb on the first try. He had 10,000 failures before that. Or that's an exaggeration, but there's there's a saying that says that.
He ripped off Tesla anyhow and stuff, and
we'll talk about
conspiracy theory at some point.
Oh yeah, conspiracy theories. I already have that written down.
Oh my gosh, I love the Y-File so much. We'll talk about that another time.
Oh yeah, I turned you on to that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome. I love it. Anyhow, I'll let you close us out. No pressure.
Oh. Well, anyway, everybody, I'd like to say thank you for watching, and just remember, this is unprofessional therapy. We're not professionals at all. We're just two old guys talking. We have no degrees, just decades. Don't forget to like, share, and you can subscribe too. That'd be kind of nice. We'd appreciate that. And until the next time, bye.
See ya.